Good morning, everyone. I'm glad you joined us for Sunday School today. We're going to learn about Jacob and Esau and how God's love can help us all get along. But first, let's go over to Dr. Drum for a song.
Good morning, everyone. It's time for a Sunday School sing-along. And today we're going to sing about Jesus and the disciples. And it's called, I Will Make You Fishers of Men. I know you remember from last year, but remember the words are, I will make you fishers of men, fishers of men, fishers of men. I will make you fishers of men if you follow me. So let's sing along. I will make you fishers of men, fishers of men, fishers of men. I will make you fishers of men if you follow me. If you follow me, if you follow me, I will make you fishers of men if you follow me. Very, very good. Let's do it again. I will make you fishers of men, fishers of men and women, fishers of men and women. I will make you fishers of men if you follow me. If you follow me, if you follow me, for I will make you fishers of men and women if you follow me. Excellent singing. Very good. So have a good time in Sunday School today.
Good morning to my class. I'm glad to see you again this morning. And today we're going to learn about, like I said, Jacob and Esau. And this is a story that's in Genesis, which you remember is the first book of the Bible in the Old Testament. And we're going to be in chapters 25 and 27. So I'd like you just to listen while I read this story. Abraham became the father of Isaac. You remember Abraham from last week. And Isaac was 40 years old when he married Rebekah, his wife. Isaac prayed to the Lord on behalf of his wife because she wasn't able to have children. The Lord answered his prayer and she became pregnant. The babies jostled and kind of moved around and kicked a lot inside of her, and she said, "Why is this happening to me?" And the Lord said to her, "Two nations are in your womb, and two peoples from within you will be separated. One people will be stronger than the other, and the older will serve the younger." When the time came for her to give birth, there were twin boys. The first to come out was red, and his whole body was like a hairy garment, so they named him Esau. After this, his brother came out, with his hand grasping Esau's heel, or his foot, and he was named Jacob. The boys grew up, and Esau became a skillful hunter, a man of the open country, while Jacob was a quiet man, staying among the tents. Isaac, who had a taste for wild game, loved Esau, but Rebekah loved Jacob. Once, when Jacob was cooking some stew, Esau came in from the open country so hungry. He said to Jacob, "Quick, let me have some of that red stew. I'm so hungry." Jacob replied, "First, sell me your blessing." "Look, I am about to die," Esau said. "I'm so hungry. What good is a blessing to me from our father?" But Jacob said, "Swear to me first." So he swore an oath to him, giving his blessing that would come from the father to Jacob. So then Jacob gave Esau some bread and some lentil stew. He ate and he drank, and then he got up and left. Now, a while later, I have to switch now to chapter 27. When Isaac was old and his eyes were so weak that he could no longer see, he called for Esau, his older son, and said to him, "My son." "Here I am," Esau answered. Isaac said, I am now an old man and don't know the day of my death. Now then, get your weapons, your bow and your arrow, and go out to the open country to hunt some wild game for me. Prepare me the kind of tasty food I like and bring it to me to eat, so that I may give you my blessing before I die. Now Rebekah was listening as Isaac spoke to Esau. When Esau left for the open country to hunt the game and bring it back, Rebekah said to her son Jacob, Look, I overheard your father say to your brother Esau, Bring me some game and prepare me some tasty food to eat, so that I may give you my blessing in the presence of the Lord before I die. Now, my son, listen carefully and do what I tell you. Go out to the flock and bring me 2 choice young goats, so that I can prepare some tasty food for your father, just the way he likes it. Then take it to your father to eat, so that he may give you his blessing before he dies. Jacob said to his mother, But my brother Esau is a hairy man, and I'm a man with smooth skin. What if my father touches me? I would appear to be tricking him and would bring down a curse on myself rather than a blessing. His mother said to him, My son, let the curse fall on me. Just do what I say and go get the goats for me. So he went and got them and brought them to his mother, and she prepared some tasty food, just the way his father liked it. Then Rebekah took the best clothes of Esau, her older son, which she had in the house, and put them on her younger son Jacob. She also covered his hands and the smooth part of his neck with the goat skins. Then she handed to her son Jacob the tasty food and the bread she had made. He went to his father and said, My father. Yes, my son, Isaac answered. Who is it? Jacob said to his father, I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done as you told me. Please sit up and eat some of my game, so that you may give me your blessing. Isaac said to his son, How did you find it so quickly, my son? The Lord your God gave me success, he replied. Then Isaac said to Jacob, Come near so I can touch you, my son, to know whether you really are my son Esau or not. Jacob went close to his father, who touched him and said, The voice is the voice of Jacob, but the hands are the hands of Esau. He did not recognize him, for his hands were hairy, like those of his brother Esau. So he blessed him. Are you sure? Are you really my son Esau? He asked. I am, he replied. Then he said, My son, bring me some of your game to eat, so that I may give you my blessing. Jacob brought it to him, and he ate, and he brought some wine, and he drank. Then his father, Isaac, said to him, Come here, my son, and kiss me. So he went to him and kissed him. When Isaac caught the smell of the clothes that Jacob was wearing, he blessed him and said, Ah, the smell of my son is like the smell of a field that the Lord has blessed. May God give you of heaven's dew and of earth's richness and abundance of grain and new wine. May nations serve you and peoples bow down to you. Be Lord over your brother, and may the son of your mother bow down to you. May those who curse you be cursed, and those who bless you be blessed. Now after Isaac finished blessing him, and Jacob had just barely left his father's presence, his brother Esau came in from hunting. He too prepared some tasty food and brought it to his father. Then he said to him, My father, sit up and eat some of my game, so that you may give me your blessing. His father Isaac asked him, Who are you? I am your son, Esau answered, your firstborn, Esau. Isaac trembled violently and said, "Who was it then that hunted game and brought it to me? I ate it just before you came, and I blessed him, and indeed he will be blessed." When Esau heard his father's word, he burst out in a loud and bitter cry, "Ugh!" And he said to his father, "Bless me too, my father." But Isaac said, "Your brother came deceitfully and took your blessing." Esau said, "Isn't he rightly named Jacob? He has deceived me these 2 times. He took my blessing earlier when Esau was very hungry, and now he has taken that extra blessing from you, Father." Then he said, "Haven't you reserved any blessing for me?" Isaac answered Esau, "I have made him lord over you, and have made all his relatives his servants, and I have sustained him with grain and new wine. So what can I possibly do for you, my son?" Esau said to his father, "Do you only have one blessing, my father? Bless me too, father." Then Esau wept. He was sad. So that's the story of Jacob and Esau. 2 different times they had some problems. Now we're ready to get into our lesson. We are just read that Bible. I read that Bible lesson to you, but I would like the 1st and 2nd graders, kindergarten through 2nd graders, to get out their pamphlets and the first page where it says Isaac's blessing. I'd like to just read through this, and you can look at the pictures, and then there might be a sticker at the end that you could put on. And while we're doing this, if you 3rd to 6th graders would just listen along. Jacob and Esau, twins. Rebekah and Isaac asked God for a baby. God answered their prayer, giving them twins. Esau was born first. He was hairy and red. Jacob was born second. He had smooth skin. As the twins grew up, Esau became a hunter, and Jacob stayed around home with the tents. When Isaac became old and blind, he wanted to give Esau a blessing. This would make Esau the leader of the people. Rebekah thought Jacob would be a better leader, so Rebekah tricked Isaac. Rebekah had Jacob dress up like Esau and bring Isaac some food. The plan worked. Isaac gave Jacob the blessing. Jacob became the new leader of the people. So now there's a picture there. You should be able to figure out which one goes in there. And while you're putting your sticker on, if you'll listen while I read a couple things from the 3rd to 6th grade pamphlet. This is about sibling rivalry. You know, your siblings are your brothers and your sisters, or brothers or sisters. And this is He Said, She Said. It's a twin story about a boy named Levi and a girl, Lexi. So Levi says, "Mom likes my twin sister Lexi best. Lexi is always bossing me around." Then Lexi says, "Mom likes my twin brother Levi best. Levi is always pestering me." So we always have something that they didn't agree on. Now Levi also said, "She can be pretty brave sometimes. She's pretty smart. The only subject I'm better at is spelling. I like having a twin sister." And then Lexi says, "Once in a while, Lexi helps me with my spelling, or Levi helps me with my spelling homework. I wouldn't want to live without my twin brother." So now they can say nice things about it. And the rest of the things you can read yourself on that page, 3rd through 6th graders. Now I'd like both of you to turn to page 2 of your pamphlets, both groups. And first, the 1st and 2nd graders will see that it says, "I'm different. God loves me just the way I am. God helps me to get along with people who are different from me. That means everyone." So if you would draw some things that you like to do that might be different from what other kids like to do, And while you're drawing that, I'm going to read just a couple of comparison Bible verses for the 3rd to 6th graders on their second page. You see the first one says Genesis 25:25. Now one of these statements is correct, like it came out of the Bible, and the other one's just been changed a little bit. So let's read the first one on the left column. The first came out red, and his body like a hairy mantle, so they named him Esau. That sounds pretty close. The second one says the first came out, all his body like a hairy mantle, so they named him Esau. It's a little hard to tell the difference in that, but there really was the part in Genesis that said Esau was red. So it starts out like that. The first came out red, and his body like a hairy mantle. Now at the bottom of that column, which is the third one that says Genesis 25:30, here's two statements. Esau said to Jacob, "Let me eat some of that chili, for I am starving." Esau said to Jacob, "Let me eat from some of that red meat, or some of that red stuff, for I am famished." So which one, do you recall which one? Famished means hungry. Were they eating chili or some red meat, red stuff, maybe that had tomatoes on it or something? It was the second one about the red stuff. The red stuff, he said. Now on the second column down at the bottom, it says Genesis 27:27b. Two things. The smell of my son is like the smell of sweaty socks that the Lord has forgotten to wash. Do you think that's in the Bible? Or is this the one in the Bible? The smell of my son is like the smell of a field that the Lord has blessed. Well, I hope you didn't pick the sweaty socks one. That would be a little silly to be in the Bible. So now we're going to move on to page 3. And on page 3, there's a crossword puzzle. If you just wait a minute to work on that, kindergarten through 3rd graders, and listen to some fun facts that I'm going to read from the 3 to 6 pamphlet. Esau's name means hairy, and Jacob's name means he cheats. So we knew that Esau had hairy arms, and Jacob cheated his brother out of his blessing twice, didn't he? Once with the food and that he just wanted to eat, and then what they gave their father. Jacob wrestled Esau in the womb. They were always moving around and kicking. Later in Genesis, he wrestled an angel. Cain and Abel were the first brothers in the Bible. Things went worse for them than for Jacob and Esau. That is another story then too. Now, first I'm going to tell the 3rd and 6th graders what they should do on page 3. At the bottom of their pamphlet, there's some what could be used as ankle bracelets, little strips of paper that you can cut out. Some of them have blessings on them, some of them are blank. And what you can do is cut those out and give some to other people or keep them for yourself. And I would think you'd just tape it together after you put it on your ankle. Don't tape it to your ankle, but that would be okay. Because while you work on that, I'd like the 1st to 2nd grade to look at the crossword puzzle. There's different things about Esau and Jacob, and in the little box you'll see these are the words that could go in there. So I'll read some of them with you. The first one, Esau and Jacob were twin brothers or babies. Right, babies. Esau was hairy and what color was he? Red, you got it. Jacob stayed around the tents, but what's another word for where they lived? Home. Very nice. That was 1 through 3. Maybe you can work on 4 and 5. See if you can get those words. And then we'll work on 4, 5, 6, and 7 maybe, and then I'll work on 8 with you. I'll give you just a minute. Or we could skip down there too. Let's skip down to 8. Esau and Jacob's father's name was, started with an I, Isaac. Right. Okay, now after you fill all those letters in, you're going to look down the middle and see if there's another word that fits at the bottom. Okay. Now, how did those ankle bracelets go? I hope that worked out for you. There are some things on page 4 of each of your pamphlets, even though you 3 to 6th grade one cut out part of that page. At the top there's a couple things, and on the 4th page there are some things for the first and kindergarten through 2nd graders to work on. But I just wanted to give you a little summary so you remember about the twin brothers that were born to Isaac and Rebekah. Their names were Jacob and Esau. They had a lot of trouble getting along, but I guess no one is perfect, and it can be difficult to get along with others at times, but God can help us get along with everyone. So now I'd like you to join me in a prayer. You can fold your hands like this, or you can put them together, and we'll bow our heads. Just listen while I read the prayer. Dear God, it seems odd to see brothers in the Bible fighting and cheating like that. Thank you for loving each of us, and thank you for the blessings that you give to each of us. Amen. Thank you for coming. Bye-bye.